Oh, my hands are too wet to click.
Hello! Welcome back. We're having existential crisis about the fact that we can't click because we're drinking too much beer. Again, mugginess. That's it.
There we go.
Yeah, it's not the beer.
Not the beer. Not the beer at all. Thank you guys for coming back. It's week 2.
Thank God. Thank you.
Oh, didn't think we'd make it. Honestly,
we weren't coming back. Apparently we were because we survived.
I'd only signed up for one thing. I was like, yeah, this is it, dead now.
I just had in my notes, I was just like, episode 1, kill everyone off, and then I get Mondays off.
Kill everyone.
Done.
End series.
Yeah, really good. But we somehow made it through. Actually, and I was editing it back, and there were some points in that where I thought you guys were down for the count, and there were good decisions. You know, like you thought on your feet. There's a couple of intimidation checks, a couple of uses of magic where you deliberately used it, even when it wasn't necessary to try and... Yeah, it was good. And a very unlucky lightning roll. God, I saw Blue's lightning roll back. Double 1s on the dragon breath.
Christ. Oh. Inside, we all wish we were all there.
I'd still have a spell slot if you hadn't screwed that up.
Brutal!
Actually, would you? Because I immediately after doing that, I ran to you. Gonna run to you.
Where the field? No.
Well, that segues nicely into probably a recap, right?
Yeah, totally. Unless anyone got anything else they want to say before we get going.
Good luck, guys.
No, we haven't really got any announcements per se, have we? So
next week we will.
Next week we so will. Yes.
Awesome.
Totally.
Sam and I are going to announce that we're getting married next week.
Oh, spoilers!
I just want the fans to start shipping.
What? The 3 of us will watch this.
Hear that,
Sarah.
Hear that, Dave? No fan art.
Right. So, last time, our newly fledged party awoke in their quarters to noises, scuffling and scraping sounds coming from various points in the room. Once you'd awoke and you'd explored around, you found that the ship had seemingly become infested with large rat-like creatures who were taking their time, plundering the ship of seemingly all of its resources. Theren awoke rapidly, helping Blue deal quickly with a few of the creatures, whilst also attempting to stop them leave the room. Whilst Aubrey, rat in hand, I seem to remember, burst out of the room, down the stairs and into the hull of the ship, desperate to check on the cargo stored below deck. Split and separated in the chaos that ensued. The party, and you did to be fair, took multiple hits and injuries, trying to avoid the rats' pack tactics while at the same time protecting the belongings in your room. It was, watching back, it was brutal. Well done, brutal but well played. Eventually, using a combination of strength and quick thinking, you managed to fight your way to Aubrey and return above deck, giving yourselves a few well-earned minutes to take stock and arm yourselves, barricading the stairways down to the lower deck. So, clarification point, we kind of skimmed over it, but you did barricade down to the below deck with a natural 20, I seem to remember. So, you know, as I was joking with Fiona, it's a loading screen now. You physically can't get through. Yeah, you try and do it, and
people are going to look at those barricades later on and decide that's how to build castles.
Yeah, exactly. Is this just more war?
I don't even know where to begin with this.
Depleted of strength, magic, and reserves, you made your way out onto the deck of the Athena.
Round 2.
As you make your way out of the double doors onto the deck of the Athena. Actually, let's get a camera.
Go to camera.
Combat view.
So, making your way onto the deck of the ship is a scene of chaos before you, and there's a few things that draw your attention more than most. Now, looking at the map, you can see the 3 of you enter down here. Actually, Fiona, you can point, you're closer. So the 3 of you at the front of the ship, and this is the front, sort of behind you, so the ship's sailing sort of this way. Yeah, exactly. It's difficult. I can't quite reach in front.
That comes up.
No, God no. That's called effort. I'm not doing that. So at the front of the ship, you notice a huge light and heat behind you, sort of stepping out of the doors and sort of, you know, looking over your shoulders behind you. You see the front of the ship, the mast and the sails are ablaze. The whole thing's just roaring in flame. It looks like the top canvas is already retreated into sort of the bare skeletons of the fabric alongside the mast, and the wood itself has taken light. You think probably the mast itself was maybe started about half a metre up, and the flames are slowly coming down, but it hasn't reached the deck yet. It's purely the mast that has gone up. You see, towards the back of the boat, and again, a little bit of creative imagination here because we've got like a split level diagram. So you can see the stairs where Fiona is pointing up the top. Yeah, there we go. That comes onto like the front of the ship where David is there. So up the stairs there. At the wheel appears to be a small, sort of grey-skinned. It's difficult. It's sort of almost like a marbling effect across its skin. Small and as we've discovered last time through Blue's observations, goblin-like creature, but not green. Just a sort of salt colour. Somewhere between that sort of horrible grey sky, grey sea, you know, the cold ocean sort of look and sort of salt flecked down it. Appears to just be behind the wheel of the boat, steering it somewhere. Up on the top deck as well, you see a couple of goblins, and now that you look, scattered around small pockets of trouble, you can see back in the back right, where Fiona is now, 2 goblins fighting 2 of the armed guard contingent of the boat, locked in combat. You can see 6 rat-like figures with cargo crates in hand, scuttling out of the door and towards the side of the ship. You can see by both the back mast and the middle mast, 2 more goblins on each, with a combination of lanterns and fuel and tinder boxes and other flammable looking materials, sort of busy getting to work.
Definitely not bagpipes then.
Definitely not bagpipes. Thank you again for Sam for these fantastic miniatures. Oh, look at that. It's like a Blood Bowl miniature. Must be. Something.
Could you possibly explain more, Sam?
It's 10 years ago.
You also see the bodies of several guard members scattered around the ship. From what you can tell, whilst the guards locked in combat with the goblins at the back don't appear to necessarily be losing, you get the sense that this has been a somewhat protracted battle. And as you're coming out of the door, again, that noise you heard previously when you were fighting back into in the chambers of the ship, a sort of crack, but this time it's just a sort of sharp bang and an echo, sort of amongst the waves, just sort of, you can hear it sort of echoing back a couple of times from the front of the ship. And several shouts, "Great, they're coming up the front! Classic, just get there! Get to me! Come on, we've got to stop them getting on!" It is a scene of chaos, and what I would like to know is, what would you be doing right now? What would your first reaction be as characters? You know that behind you the doors are barricaded. It seems like the
can't go back in.
enemies behind you have been taken care of. So your quarters are there. They're now in your armour. You feel significantly more secure than you did before. But you've all taken knocks. You're feeling all right at the moment, but you feel like your reserves are depleted somewhat. So what would you like to do?
Should we find the captain?
I draw my sword, raise it high, and scream at the top of my lungs, "For Pareth!" And I charge at the goblins trying to light the main mast on fire.
Yeah, that sounds like a good course of action. Okay, right, great. So the 3 of you are very much unexpected. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll of initiative for now, as we are in a big combat situation. But we're going to give you guys a surprise round because nobody has expected you coming from the
Never get
internals
good
of the ship.
initiative. Well done.
Thank you.
One day I'll stop rolling terribly.
It's like, but whatever, then we do push for you. That's it. Like, nice try.
I'm just going to leave from back here.
So who got the highest down you?
I got 18.
18. Okay, next.
16.
16, Sean.
8.
Okay.
That's like half of mine.
Thanks.
That's good maths.
What are you
good
doing
maths.
back there?
That's why we've got him on board. Okay. I think actually, you see movement at the top of the ship. But with your surprise round, you can all sort of come forward. So Theren, you leap into action. Your military training, taking command. You see the chaos and you start putting things in order, and you advance to the mast.
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, you make it across the sort of the cargo. What do they call it? Like a sort of lattice work, like a gate sort of beneath the ship. You've seen it raised before when cargo is dropped into the deck of the ship, but it's closed at the moment.
I was going to say, we should have learned all these sea terms.
I'll Google it.
Are we in the port aft?
Looking down, you can see that it's actually been covered by some sort of tarpaulin. You think probably to keep the rain out. There's some sort of cargo down there, which would explain why you couldn't see any light when you were down there, quickly backpedaling. But you never noticed. So you go, and there's sort of, as you get there, this sort of goblin-like creature just sort of drastically like trying to light a torch. You can see the base of the mast seems to be coated already in this sort of thick, oily substance. It sort of looks up at you. Make an attack.
Yeah. Go on. Come on.
Oh, it's a 9.
9. You just in a combination of just trying to sort of take everything in at once. You're assessing and you swing, and it's had time just to duck. And your sword goes thunk into the mast, and you pull it out, and it's sort of, you can see already it's pulling for some sort of short sword by its belt. That would be Blue next. What were you? Unless you want to do anything else in your turn.
No, I'm just getting my shield ready.
Getting furious, yeah. Blue.
I'm going to follow Aubrey, if that's okay.
Okay.
Since she seems a little more alert on things.
Okay.
Controversial.
Very controversial. Seeing Theren go off, but I see the guards, and having learnt my lesson of going to help people, I'll probably rush over there so I can move 30 feet.
Yeah. Well, just quickly, so Blue, when you say you're following, you doing it in sort of initiative order, so you're holding your action for something? Are you just going to literally just follow, and if you...
The holding action, because Fiona's before me.
I'm 18, and then he's 16. And then it's
I put Theren first because I'm an idiot. I'm terrible at initiative. I'm absolutely terrible at initiative. That's fine. Yeah, Aubrey. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it is you.
I assume we were just going backwards order and then we're going
It's
forward.
surprise
round.
I need constant supervision. I really do. Sorry.
That's
Aubrey.
okay. No, it's alright.
Do you want me to look at what you're doing?
Is the turn we're on?
I think it's needed. I think it's needed.
So yeah, I'll rush up. So I'm just cutting out. Yeah, I can just make it.
Just make it. Okay, yeah, you make your way. And again, you see 2 of the ship's guards you recognise from sort of regular patrols, covered in like scrapes and bruises. One has taken a particularly nasty gash on the side of one of its legs, you can see. But they're still sort of standing, fighting with long swords, trying to sort of just slice away at these goblins, which are sort of ducking and weaving. And you just,
I'll bonus action rage.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, do you mind if I have a turn?
So angry.
Slice out one of them.
So filled with rage.
Perfect. Right, go for an attack roll.
Excuse me.
Oh, not good. That is a
strong start.
That is a 9.
A 9. It hears you coming. Oh, do you mind if I have a go? And it just sort of ducks back, and bam! The axe comes slamming down into the deck of the ship.
Doesn't look good.
Take it up. You can see one of the guards wince at the impact. That is otherwise fine. And then Blue. Sorry. After that, that's movement, action, bonus.
Yep, everything I've done.
Right, I'm going to follow my buddy.
Yep.
Theren.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, we're friends.
Hey, buddy.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a swing at this guy. Ooh.
Oh, come on.
We're off to a great start here, everyone.
11. That doesn't hit, unfortunately. Again, they all see. It's just a fantastic surprise round, guys. It just comes on and it sort of just ducks underneath the blade, which boom, again sort of parries over it. And we're going to drop straight into initiative from that point.
Yeah.
Here we come to save the day. Oh,
So-
no.
I've rearranged
we're
it
level
this time. I've rearranged it this time, so we should be able to keep in order. So, you see some movement towards the top of the deck, and a sort of a flash come up effectively. Let me just see how effective this is. Oh, no, it's fine. You sort of see a couple of sparks coming from the top of the mast, and just several swear words in a language you don't quite understand, but just horrible noises. As you suspect, they're trying to set the mast up the top on fire.
Oh, okay.
That now is going to be... Yes, it will be Aubrey now.
Okay.
So back to you.
So, sorry, I said again. Do you mind if I have... Just try and go for the same one. Like, more of a downward split if I can. Like,
Yeah. Make an attack.
there we go.
Nice.
That's 19 plus 6, so 20...
25 hits. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Alright.
Hang on, I'll remember this time. So it's a 1d12. It's 10
Nice.
plus 4, so that's 14 plus the rage. It's 16.
16 damage. You just impale this thing in two with your axe. It just sort of... It doesn't even... It kind of holds its resistance as the axe comes down and just... Flop, and it just drops. Almost falling apart in two. So do you want to remove one of the goblins?
Yes, I
That
will.
is dead and out of action.
Sweet.
And as you do that, the guards sort of look at you and go, quick, and then look like they're going to try and sort of help you with the other ones.
Okay.
That is
They're
your
not
action.
trying to attack me.
No.
Yeah, that's all I do. I don't move.
Okay, great. Now we're going down to Blue.
No,
Second attack.
hit the man.
Oh!
No.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Oh, I'm sorry. You go to attack a second time and you see Aubrey just on this one, and your attention's like, ah,
She's so good.
yeah, and you just almost forget to hit. It's just a sort of latter like reaction.
Oh.
And again, it parries the blade pretty easily, even as a small thing. So your action.
Yep.
We
you did.
roll out of stuff. Oh no.
Okay. Right, so I'm needing a little bit of help now. So, the rats, with their boxes, the one nearest the side, seeing all the commotion, they look around and go, quick, and they start muttering to each other. Those two
God.
take the box to the side, haul it off, and jump into the sea. And just out of sight. The others, with boxes, move about 10 feet closer
To where they were.
Yeah,
originally,
exactly.
there-ish.
to where there's a sort of space on the side, just treading over the body. Yeah, great. And appear to be sort of getting cargo off the side. That is now... Looks at these goblins. Okay, so the goblin fighting the guard, seeing Aubrey come round and just gut one of its friends. This one, it doesn't look afraid. It sort of and goes to strike you with its short sword.
Sweet.
So, does a 18 hit you?
Oh, it does hit me.
It does. I thought it might. You just get some dice.
Just get them out, yeah.
Get some dice out.
May they be low rolls.
There we go.
May they have the same
It's,
rolls we've been
8
getting.
points of damage
Oh.
with its short sword, halved,
Halved.
so that's 4 points of
Oh.
damage.
My God!
It slashes across
Oh
your
my
back.
God! Ow!
And it's just at the moment, even in the rage, there's a point where you stumble for a sec, and you can see your vision start to go, and it pulls back, and you just
Oh
not
my
happy
God.
with this
Fine.
thing.
How's Aubrey looking, can I ask?
I'm glad I raged. Put it that
4
way.
points. Oh,
Oh.
that's good.
Oh.
Seeing you injured, it's gonna go with a dagger in its offhand and try and strike you.
Damn straight, well.
It's only a 9 to hit,
Oh.
so this time it misses, and you just barely pull yourself back from this sharp point. It sort of almost
Jeez.
guts you.
Shimmy with my
Comes
hips.
out. Yeah, exactly. Shimmy away from that shit.
Is Aubrey a dancer?
In one life, she wished she would have been.
The
More
dancer
movement.
of death.
Yes.
More movement at the top of the ship. This time, a spark, and just you hear a noise as light appears at the top of the ship. Going down to those two, which are on... Okay, yeah, here we go. So, the two goblins So the one by Theren is going to strike out with its short sword for an 11 to hit.
Nope.
No, again, the short sword comes.
No, it's like armor on!
You're ready for it this time. Disgruntled, but still the shield in hand. You deflect the hit. Again, it goes with its dagger attack. This one is a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
So it does get through.
Oh, fuck!
Does get through, unfortunately. But only for 4 points of damage. As it nicks the arm, as it sort of it just reaches under your guard, clips your arm slightly. The one by Blue,
Just chills.
seeing that Blue is less of a threat at this point, After 2 attacks, it is going to,
no.
with the torch in hand, with its action, light it, and it's going to attempt
Oh no.
to set the mast on fire. But again, it starts batting the mast, and you can see just sort of sparks as it hits this viscous fluid on the mast, but it doesn't seem to take hold just yet. It sort of looks around and again swipes out with its dagger as it does it for 21 to hit again.
Yeah.
That's a little bit better, about 6 points of damage.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great.
It nicks you. Going down. Now, it is Theren's go.
Hey, it's your guy.
I'm gonna stab him.
Stab him. Go for it.
Come on, come on. Oh,
my God.
Christ.
Oh no!
It does, it's
Low
it's
level
a
combat.
7.
7 doesn't hit. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. No, again, you just sword swings over its head. It's locked in battle. It's sort of laughing away.
Of course it's laughing.
Tries to get you. Anything else you want to do?
no. I don't think there's anything else I can do. Nope.
You used all your spell slots.
Yes, I did. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
From the front of the ship, you hear some noise. Oh yeah, just several twangs of and sort of noises, almost like crossbows being fired from the front of the ship, and a couple of shouts like, "Yes, that's good. Keep loading. They're crawling up the side. Quick!" Noises. There's some sort of commotion from the front of some kind.
Definitely the captain.
You maybe a perception check, actually.
Captain Wimbledon.
God. Go home, David. 8.
8. It could be. You don't know. You don't know.
I'm gonna go home, everyone.
Just get
I'll see this next
ten
Monday.
dice.
Okay. So, back to the top. Again. What did it do? Seeing that it's on fire. There's laughing noise from the top of the deck. They sort of get muttering as they sort of noises between them. And the one in red is going to just sort of move slightly forward to the top of the staircase. And looking down at one of the guards stood next to Aubrey, is going to get out a crossbow and fire it at one of the guards and makes contact.
Not Dave.
You see a bolt thud into the side of this guard as he taken it back. He momentarily discombobulated by the fact that Aubrey is by him, wailing into this goblin. It doesn't see the other one coming, and it looks up and goes, "There's more! Quick, get them over the top!" And that would be now to Aubrey.
Okay.
Aubrey.
Right.
Kill them all.
I've only got one action per turn. I feel I'm going to try and finish off this goblin, and
Go
then
for
once
it.
I've done that, I'll try and make my way up to the top. So
Okay.
If I get there. No, I don't hit. It's 10 total.
10. No, that's fine. I should have, to be fair, those guards also get a turn because they haven't had a turn yet. But
Okay.
yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah, so 10, don't hit them, but I'll still move, because I heard this guy talk about it, I'll still move up.
Wouldn't that be an attack of opportunity? if you
Yeah,
move
I don't
away?
know.
So,
I heard some-
let's just see if these two take care of the goblin.
Save us, Dave.
They don't, unfortunately. No, they don't hit.
That's fine.
Okay, so
I'm still going to move, because I heard them go up to the top, so...
Okay.
To the top.
so it will get an attack of
That's fine.
opportunity actually.
It was that fight.
Does a 15 hit you?
Just hits me.
Oh,
Yeah.
nuts.
It's fine.
It's going to hit you with its short sword.
Mm-hmm.
Clips out. You take another 4 points of damage.
Halved. Halved. Wait, so 4
to
halved.
2.
Oh! Yep. Yep.
1 on that.
Thank God. Cool. Yep.
Yep, so you can move, so 5, 10, 15, you can sort of make your way up the stairs and you can get almost, you pretty much can get to the one in red at
I'll
the
get
top.
to the one at red top. Yeah, just stop
Yeah,
him
and
from
sort of
going,
locking in
basically, yeah.
combat as it sort of stood, even above you on the stairs, you still tower above it.
Sweet. Maybe I'll hit it
Leaving
next time.
a trail of blood.
Going down to blue.
Okay. I am going to keep hacking at this guy in front of me. Yes!
Oh, thank God.
That's more what we're talking about.
15. Two-handed.
Hits.
Leaving a pause there.
Go to hit.
What's that dice?
That's 5.
Is that a D8 or is that a D10?
Yeah.
D10.
Two-handed
yes,
longsword.
of course.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what's that, 5?
So 5 points of damage. You, with this sword,
Mighty
you
5.
nick it, and you manage to get a decent hit in. As again, leather armor all around its sort of arm and torso. It gets caught and pulled away. You can see this sort of weird, like, see-through liquid spill out, almost like sort of salt water. The smell of it coming out as it's and is going to try and fight you further. Unhappy though. It's a bad wound.
Sad.
As long as it's sad, yeah.
It's sad about that. Yeah, it's very sad.
It is miffed with its current situation.
Well, that's good to know.
Wait, they don't like... And I'll say, they don't like magic, can you do any crazy magic stuff? And that's all I'll say.
Right. So,
And Theren's like,
No.
the other goblin at the top. So you can see, now Aubrey, now you're up there, you can see one goblin is basically manning the wheel. And
Yes.
it's steering the ship in some direction. And you can see almost like it's holding course. And sort of looks at you and snarls, but doesn't sort of look like it's going to move any further. The goblin by you,
Of course.
sorry, the green one, so
Yep.
the one slightly further
It's still
away.
going to come to me, yeah.
That one, yeah, is going to get out a crossbow and it's going to fire at you from a slight distance.
Sweet.
There's a mast in the way, does it give her
From
cover?
8 to hit.
Oh my god, yeah, that is not it.
Fires like between your legs and smacks into the deck on the bottom of the ship somewhere down here.
Those
No.
guards, come and help me.
God, that's lucky, that's lucky. The rats, again, the second box is going to dive overboard.
I think we're just forgetting about that now.
And the rats are just going to keep moving for another 10 feet. Right.
I just hope these people just bring upside down.
We then got back to Theren.
Come on, Theren.
I'm going to stab this guy again, and this time I'm going to hit.
Come on, come on.
Okay, come on.
Yeah!
It's a natural 20!
I was just about to say, you need to get rid of that dice.
Okay.
How many turns is that?
That's 3.
Okay, right, so that's gonna be... That is
Oh, nice.
7, 14, 16, 18 damage.
Does that...
How do you kill that?
Just obliterates.
I'm very irritated with this thing's demeanour about how I've missed it and it's managed to stab me. So as it's snarling, I stab the longsword right through its open mouth.
It
Nice.
does, it goes
Pull out.
right through.
Just said pull out, and then just turn to the next one. And I want to use my movement, if possible,
Yeah,
to go around and flank this guy.
okay.
Well, yeah, are we doing flanking?
We are not. No.
Oh, okay.
You
But-
I
guys,
believe that
but-
flanking is a thing due to military training.
Well, it is. No. And what you can do is you essentially stop it from being able to move and not give an opportunity attacks. You lock it in place.
Nice.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
the
go.
mast
It's
in
good.
the
You
way.
can get all the way around and do a 180 on it if you want.
Would that provoke an attack of
No,
opportunity?
as long as
you're
you stay
moving
within 5
this
feet of
movement.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm moving
You're
within
fine.
melee
You
range.
can circulate.
Great.
Yeah, totally.
Hey.
That's
Good
fine.
job,
So your
guys.
action, your movement, and your bonus action.
Good.
I don't think you had one.
Yeah, I'm all out of magic.
We tapped.
That's fine. Okay, this time you hear again shouting from another ship. Give me that! Give me that! Again, a crack, and it's like, ah, God's sake! And we'll just see how all these guys are doing. No, listen to doing again. Thunk, thunk, more sort of thunking noises from the front of the ship.
Sounds like they've got it covered. To be
But you
honest
don't
with
see what's happening now.
that. It sounds like it's fine.
Still hearing voices, no cries of death.
The 2 cards by that goblin are going to strike out.
Come on,
Come
come
on,
on.
Dave.
Try and hit
Come
natural 1
Come on, Dave 2.
and a 2.
Oh, for God's sake.
Again, they're just lost in
Useless.
battle with this goblin as it sort of wheels back and is trying to attack them. And the goblin itself is going to get an attack back.
No.
Natural 20.
Oh
The
my
injured,
god.
the injured one, it just with its sword, it just like gets under the guard. You see the guard just get impaled with this sword and just collapse over. So one of the guards knocked down, please.
Dave
Thank you.
2.
As the goblin sort of rears on the other one, just blood in its eyes and snarling. Okay, so going back to the top, so the red goblin, sort of with its crossbow, it sort of looks at you, and it goes to shoot at you with point blank range. So we'll have disadvantage on this.
Good.
Which is Good thing. 13 to hit.
Yeah, it does not hit.
It doesn't hit. Again, this time it goes to fire and you just push it out the way.
That's straight.
Fires down. It sort of looks at you and it sort of is looking around. It sees the fact that you're really injured and it just sort of drops the crossbow and it looks like it's going to come at you with its like bare arms.
Okay.
But that's it, and it's your go.
Cool.
Cool. Cool.
I'm not-
Cool.
Am I that stupid to do reckless attack on it? No, I'm not that stupid because it's fine. I'll just go for a normal attack.
Oh.
I should have done reckless. That's you guys. Fucking panto crowd over there. It's an 8.
8, no, again.
Too close.
This time, yeah, you get a big swing at the axe. This time it kind of leaps over it as you go to sort of cleave its legs off and manages to avoid it.
No
My
worries.
shoulders are so high right
I
now.
know. So you attack.
Um,
Anything else? You're still raging.
I am still raging. No, I'm gonna stay there. If I back away, he'll get an attack of opportunity, so I'm just gonna stay there. And I believe that they're trying to come down into the ship, and I assume everyone's dying over here, and I'm just like, no, you won't come down, you know, that sort of thing. Even though everything's fine now.
Okay. Depends how you call fine, really, doesn't it? But
Fine.
Fire behind me.
Okay.
Matt's not getting
going down to blue.
Come on.
Keep hitting this dude.
Yeah,
Come
man,
on.
that's what we need.
Come on. Oh, that was a 14! And it rolled to a 4. That's
Nine.
bullshit.
No, unfortunately not. No, you're just locked
getting
in
slowly
combat
more
with
and
this
more
thing.
vocal
You
about
go
these
for a
bad
big
rolls.
swing, and it just brings its blade up
Oh
and
my
parries
God.
you. It goes to clip you with the dagger, and you sort of back away from it like, oh, this thing.
Can we tally up our rolls at the end, please?
I'm gonna
'Cause
be a stats at the end.
this seems...
Shocking.
That's terrible.
I know, a slightly dexterous opponent, and it's
Dexterous.
terrible.
It's just got good armor.
Anything else you want to do?
Oh, actually, yes. I will just nip over his thing and just keeping in range.
He's
Go
moving
there.
around.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
great.
Flee.
Tactics.
The other goblin at the top
The red one. Or
The green one.
Green one, yeah.
is going to take another shot at you.
I'm ready.
17 to
That
hit.
does hit, yeah. I'm gonna go down, so that's fine.
Well, it's going to do at least 4 damage to you.
Yeah, so I'll go down.
You go down. Okay, so again, this time it catches you right in the chest.
Yeah.
Oof, oof.
Yeah.
And you just drop backwards. And you see the figure of Aubrey just collapse on the top of the stairs at the front.
Mm-hmm.
And these sort of horrible, snarling goblin things laughing down, just refilling their crossbows and looking down upon the deck.
Would
For their
she
next
roll
victim.
down the stairs?
Oh, we can see.
I'm a big
We'll
girl.
see. We'll go roll a D100 for me.
Oh, no. The 100.
Oh.
Ask for dice.
Oh no, I
Oh,
didn't
sorry.
do it.
We'll do that one. 4. 42.
42.
That's the meaning of life.
You stay where you are. I was
That's
going to
fine.
say more than a 50 you rolled on.
Oh! That answer didn't help at all.
No,
That's
so you
fine.
collapse on the top of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
You see Aubrey collapse at the top and just blood pooling out from his wound in the chest. And actually now she's dropped, it just, all the other wounds you see are just built up, are just slowly eking blood. Okay, the rats, the last two are just going to dive over the side of the ship.
Don't care about
We
them.
dealt with those enemies.
It's all XP.
Okay, the goblin by blue again is going to take another couple of hits at you. So with its short sword, again 17 to
Oh
hit.
my god.
Which one of us?
Blue.
Oh right, yeah.
The other one's still locked in combat. Only 4 points of damage,
Okay.
Only 4.
Only.
and the dagger is only an 11 to hit.
That doesn't hit.
There we go. So again, you get clipped by the short
You're right
sword,
with
but
that.
as the
Yeah.
dagger, it just sort of comes close to sort of the bottom of your throat, and you just about pull yourself away before it clips you. That one, the one by the guard. Just going to attack, but misses. The actually gets
I was
attack, doesn't it?
So yeah.
Okay, the second one, so you can see the goblin fighting the guard.
Mm.
Its short sword misses, but again it gets a small clip with the dagger and catches the guard across the chest with it. It stumbles back, but is still going.
Does that guard get an
Swearing.
attack? As he had attack?
He had an attack last time.
He did. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
He got a natural 1. He missed.
You idiot.
I know, he is sad, isn't it?
Dave.
Dave won.
We need to stop calling him Dave
There.
because some people at the table have that as their name.
Who could that
Sorry.
be, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
That's me.
Okay, I'm gonna stab this guy.
Go for it.
I don't suppose I get anything because I'm behind him, do I?
Doesn't see you coming.
I missed.
Satisfaction with a good kill.
Yay!
So that is a 21.
21 hits. Yeah.
Sorry. We're making the
Okay.
camera wobble with our exuberance.
That is a 7.
7, that's enough. It
Oh,
goes down.
Boom. Get out of there.
Right, okay, so I stab the goblin through the back, look up at Blue, and I'll say, kill the third one. And then I want to use my movement to turn around and charge at this guy. Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, fine.
Would-
Theren does
Yes.
that. You right?
Yep.
What's up?
No.
So, again, more noises
Behind
from
my head, I
the
haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
you've not seen
top
that.
of the ship. You hear again like a crack that goes out from the deck. But this time you hear just, they're making their way up! Someone help! From the front of the ship. And then we go back to the top. So, goblins again, they're going to sort of look down with their crossbows, sort of looking over the side of the ship. They see a guard there. They're probably going to go for one of the guard, one on Theren. The guard is going to get hit.
Oh,
But it's just up. 2 health.
yeah.
And Theren is only an 11 to hit.
Nope.
No, again, you see this bolt coming and you just sort of Roman style get down with the shield, swipe it off. Okay, and that is now Aubrey.
Mm-hmm. So death saving.
Death saving throw.
16.
Hey.
That's one pass. You're fine.
That's what we need.
Blue.
Well. Right, so
What would you do, Blue?
Blue sees Aubrey fall down,
Yes.
and oh my god, it's tricky. I'm going to run after her.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Where does that take me?
5, 6. You can get to
Yeah,
the
you'd
stairs.
be with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoop, teleport.
I'm going to get between her and the thing.
Yeah.
And so these things, they're
Yeah.
goblins. They're
Yes.
not rat people.
No, they're goblins.
Now the rat things are scared of magic. Blue saw that, so he's going to try that with these guys. I'm going to use prestidigitation to do some just like sensory effects in front of their eyes, but just like, so I'm more powerful than this, but this is a taster. Like,
Sparks and
just
whatever.
light some sparks in front of their
And he's saying,
faces.
fuck
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
You made me a performance check.
Okay.
Come on, come on.
Come on, this is your thing.
That's not bad. 19.
That's not bad.
That's good.
Yeah, good job. Those are good sparkles.
Maybe it's something about the timing of it. The flames now crawling up the mast, illuminating you with the sparks. And whilst
Underneath.
one of them, the green one, sort of is hissing at you, the red one looking up at you and starts backing away. And you think is going to try and move away from you.
Okay. I've used all my movement to get there, but I kind of hold on to Aubrey's legs, getting ready to drag her down the stairs.
Okay. Well, you've used. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Yeah, he's using action.
That's fine. Yeah.
Bonk, bonk, bonk. As I go down. My messy buns just come out.
Okay.
Not the buns.
Not the buns. Not my messy buns. Oh dear.
So the
God.
red one. The ones by the wheel is sort of watching everything happen. Just sort of again,
It's a bit weirded out.
It's fairly choppy water, and it's sort of correcting the course quite a lot. But it's sort of looking at you. You can kind of like barely peeking around the side of the wheel. It can't really reach the top of it. It's kind of like the bottom of this thing. Okay. Then we go down to. There's no more of them. Okay, the goblin by the guard is going to take another can't hit the guard. No, the guard just
Come
about
on, guard.
dodges. The last scrapes inside the sword, slashes. It manages to sort of move his chest and move to the side as the dagger just inches from his side. As this goblin is now flailing at him wildly, like looking at Theren come in, just trying to like keep an eye on you both. And it is now Theren's
Come on,
go.
Theren.
Okay, I'm going to stab this goblin and
Stab
I'm
that
hopefully going
goblin.
to kill him.
Come on.
That is a 20.
Hit.
Ah.
Yes. Okay.
Ah!
12
You
damage.
kill it. Yeah, you just again. It sees you coming. It's in the middle of swiping at the guard, and again, this time the sword. You just manage to beneath its elbow and just rip, and its arm just goes loose and just bleeds. And you see this thing just again. This sort of like water, saltish liquid. It almost like a sort of oil slick in texture. You know, that sort of luminescent colour that above it. But again, that smell of salt as the thing sort of drops to the deck. And he's dead. The guard sort of looking at you, sort of stumbling a little bit from the wound, sort of nods at you.
Is his friend still alive?
You can, with your bonus action, make me a perception check, disadvantage.
Oh.
Okay, well they're both not great. 8.
8. It's difficult to tell. Difficult to tell. Definitely down and hasn't been moving.
Right, okay. I've still got my movement, so I want to... I'll have seen where Blue has gone. So I want to head up the stairs as well and try and get between, as well, as much as I can, try and cover some sort of retreat.
Okay. Yeah, great. That's fine. Perfect. You can make your way up, and again, sort of imposing your shield between you and the others. That is absolutely fine. Okay. Noises from around. These guys are fine. These guys are fine.
Yeah, they're a competent team.
Again, you just hear this sort of, like, from your end of the ship. It's less sort of clear, but again, still the sounds of commotion from.
Those are the heroes,
Yeah,
really.
fucking B-plot.
Story of my life.
Oh,
No, how does it be Sam?
Is that the name of this campaign? Fucking B-plot.
the B team.
B-team.
B-plot.
That's a good concept, though, isn't it?
That's fantastic. Right,
Incompetent B-team.
the goblin in green, sort of looking at you, he sort of weighs the two of you up. He's looked at Blue. He hasn't really sort of. Actually, no, the green is the one in red. The one in red is scared of Blue, so he's going to disengage and is going to move back behind the wheel. So it's going to move. So the red one is going to move behind the wheel.
Would Blue and I have...
It's
Minute.
Disengage.
Disengage.
Oh,
So he wants to
Bastard.
get away from Blue. He's frightened.
yeah.
Move behind the wheel. Yeah,
Lol.
exactly. And again, he gets his crossbow out, sort of looking like he's going to do something. The guy at the wheel, now seeing 3 people approach, is kind of like using the wheel, but gets a hand crossbow out and is going to just sort of lean round and try and
fucking
shoot
cool, dude.
Don't text and drive,
at
kids.
Theren.
Don't shoot and drive.
But only
might
10
miss.
to hit.
No.
So again, this hand crossbow, this time it does actually hit you, but it just off the armour, you just, again, you barely feel the
Your
thing.
faith has protected you.
Thank you, old chainmail.
Took me 10 minutes to get into you, but my god.
Okay.
Worth it.
Aubrey,
Yep.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
2.
Oh.
2, that's 1.
Could be worse.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
check.
1-1.
Blue.
So, let's drag, firstly, Aubrey out the way of
Okay.
danger.
Yeah. So you, with your movement, you can kind of move with her at about half. Give me a strength check, actually. See how
No.
effectively you pick her up.
Ooh.
Just straight strength or athletics?
Strength.
Okay.
Oh, athletics. I'll let you do athletics.
24.
Strong
24.
boy.
It's not just that you're strong enough to move her, but you kind of see the stairs and you kind of maneuver yourself. You kind of lift her legs and sort of the middle of her weight just to drop her down the stairs. Almost using gravity with you, and you do manage to. So you moving at half speed, so you can kind of drag her.
Okay.
So 15 feet.
Fire. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Bottom of the stairs. Where would you like to move her?
Yeah, is that as far as I can
You
go?
can kind of come round and to the left if you want to kind of move to kind of there.
Probably want to go near the guard, yeah.
The guard? Yeah, just to move her there.
Um,
The guard sort of looks down at you and goes,
I'm no CPR.
can I try...
So-
What? Is it metagaming? What? What is possible in this situation in terms of trying to help her?
So you can see from having dragged her that she's got a couple of very bad wounds in sort of torso area and a couple of scrapes, but you can see there's one particular that's sort of oozing blood at a faster rate than the others, and you can see she's lost a lot of blood. But you can try and make a medicine check for me as your action to see if you can stabilise her.
Okay, yeah, I'll rip off a piece of cloth from my sash and try and stem the blood flow.
Okay, make me a medicine check.
Yeah, do it.
12?
12. Okay. You don't have a medicine kit,
No.
and this is very much improvised sort of field hospital sort of work.
Help me, Dave!
But you start strapping cloth around the wounds to try and put as much pressure on it as you can, and you can see the pressure starting to make an effect. Next step, saving throw at advantage.
Yes!
So you've done well.
Thank you.
So that's your action, your movement, any bonus actions?
Nope.
Good. Fine. Okay, top goblin, the one in the green. Again, just sort of seeing the other two back away. Blue's now disappeared out of sight. It sort of snarls at you, drops the crossbow, gets out a wicked looking dagger and sort of runs at you to attack. Can't roll to hit you, Theren. 10.
No.
Again, this dagger, you see it coming, and instead of trying to dodge it, you just shield bash it and just smack the dagger, and the thing just recoils, sort of as it gets pushed back, and sort of eyes you up very, very carefully.
It's Theren time. He's just...
It is Theren time.
Chainmail.
No!
No. That's an 11.
An 11. No, again,
No.
you go to sort of follow it up with a hit, and it just dodges out of the way just barely. But you're locked in combat now.
Cool. That's it. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That goes to, again, front of the ship.
Goes to the 18.
Yeah, these guys are fine. I can roll well here, but...
Yeah.
Okay, back to the top. Aubrey.
I'm in.
Oh no, the guard. This guard is going to attempt to help what would he do?
His friend.
What would he do?
He would help his friend.
He's going to make a check. See how his friend is doing.
His friend's weird. That's why he's rolling so much.
Hopefully.
Yeah, his friend's dead, unfortunately. He sort of looks over to see just the lifeless corpse of his friend and sort of goes up the stairs towards where Theren is and that helps you drive it back.
Oh.
So again, sort of...
Is he in melee range?
Yeah. He's going to try and hit.
Come on.
And doesn't, unfortunately. Just sort of swings over the top. But you've now got an ally at the top of the stairs. He looks battered, he looks bruised, but he's there.
Just leave him to it.
Which is all that matters.
Wow.
So, Aubrey, it is your go now.
Okay, so death save with advantage.
With advantage.
So that's a 15.
Yeah.
And a 6. So
So
I'll
it's
take
a
that.
pass,
15.
yeah.
You guys are so tense.
Okay, Lou. You can see that you've administered sort of first aid as best you can.
As best I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I see green dude?
The goblin at the top of the stairs?
Yeah.
Yep, you can.
Is he within 60 foot?
Yes.
Okay. Vicious Mockery. Can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah.
Can indeed. What? How do you mock him?
Green? That's like the colour of bogies.
He's so confused by the insult that he can't tell if he's insulted.
Yeah.
What?
Oh no, they're
Roll
not
for
green.
damage. He got a 6 on his saving
They're all
throw.
green.
They're not green. They're kind of like a greyish.
Yeah.
It's, well, even better.
You look like a rock. A sucky rock. Does he win?
Yeah, I know you win, yeah.
Hey!
Come on.
4!
Yes!
Plus... No, just 4.
4
Yeah.
damage.
Attack.
Again, you see his attention being drifted, and it's fuck off. It genuinely seems like traumatized by it. But again, you just see like a small bit of blood coming down his nose.
Nice.
Just a sort of like frantic
Ah, everything
maneuver.
helps.
And he has disadvantage on his next attack.
That he does. Good to know.
Good to know.
So, going down the top ones again. That green one is gonna again lash out Theren at disadvantage, which is it's a good thing they tend to hit again. No, just this time, again, the dagger swings wide, you just lazily dodge out.
God, that shield was a good one.
Yeah.
Before I leave, take the shield.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I do not blame you.
Oh.
The other two, because they haven't moved yet, they looking at everybody coming up and sort of having a look. Let's just see what they do. Okay, yeah, that's fine. One of them's going to sort of again pick up one of the torches sort of discarded on the floor. Is going to attempt to light it and try and set fire to the mast. At disadvantage because he's sort of flinging it. No, he doesn't do it. So he flings to sort of keep the fire going. The mast at this point is already lighting up. You can see the flames have crawled maybe sort of 15 feet up it, starting to catch the sail above. They kind of look over and they just go, fuck! And both jump off the back of the ship.
These two.
Yeah, knowing that their game is run.
Hey!
The green one sort of looks back and sort of looks and goes, swinging around madly. Doesn't seem particularly concerned, but in a frenzy. Going to with now 2. Theren.
I'm going to stab this guy, and I'm hopefully going to kill him. Oh, no, that is a 7.
No, it's 7. Unfortunately, you do not. The guard.
You random die.
The guard's going to try. And the guard hits.
Finally!
Yes!
Finally, guard gets a decent hit. And
Yay!
Again, the goblin just ducks out of the way of your sword, and so he's coming up, and the guard is just with his sword, zoop, just on the back of them, pulls out, and the goblin just falls down.
Nice.
He must join us.
You can replace me.
You're still going to hold initiative because Aubrey is still technically down. So, going back to the guard, that's the guard's turn. So yeah, to the top it is your go.
Okay.
Does she still have advantage because my excellent medical care?
She does.
Oh my god, because I was going to say, if I get a natural 1, I'm gone. So 13 and a 2. So yes, I'll take that 13.
Yes!
So you are now stable on 0 hit points, but stable. That's all that matters.
Oh, no.
Never in doubt.
We need a, no, I'm not going to say that.
Well, a healer. He was busy fighting when I fucked
I'm
up.
also out of healing points.
That's out of initiative. Just all around you, the scene of chaos. You can see at the top of the ship, the flames now licking up the mast. It's burning away. You can see just this sort of paraffin oil-like substance has taken fire. It's kind of spreading out over the deck, this one, to an extent that the sail's beginning to catch. Behind you at the front of the ship, you see, again, just flames. The front sail is gutted, but the middle sail, unlit.
That's all you need.
So, hey, no, that is a result as results go. Actually, from the back of the ship, which is the highest point that you can sort of stand on without going to the crow's nest, looking out at the front, you can just about see
What can you see? What do you
four
figures
figures at the front of the ship that you recognise to be the captain, Captain Grumac, the tall half-orc figure. Seems to be sort of leaning over with 2 guards, also leaning over the front with crossbows. The guard you can see every now and then just boom, shooting, reloading. The captain is sort of like pointing them out, and then every now and then looks behind him to this sort of young boy who you recognise as one of the junior navigators of the ship. His job purely to basically sit in the crow's nest when needed and whatever, is sort of desperately fiddling around with this sort of contraption and passes it back to the captain. He rips it out of his hand and sort of leans over and just, you hear it crack again. The sort of noise from the front of the ship.
Firearms.
As he sort of puts it back, and the kid again just grabs
small
it,
child.
just trying to, yeah, as the captain sort of
so cool.
sort of then has a crossbow, pulls and tries to shoot, and you can see them sort of occupied at the front of the ship. Blue, you see that Aubrey's breathing becomes more regular. She seems to sort of be unconscious. You recognise it as sort of hurt, but is otherwise stable. You can see the bodies of several guards on the deck alongside you. You can count probably at least 4. Looking around, now that you're sort of out of combat, you can see a couple of sort of faces are looking at you from the sort of the captain's quarters area of the ship. So the glass of
people around.
you can see a couple members of the crew sort of pointing, sort of looking out the window. I'm just going to look at the map here. So kind of like here,
Oh no.
looking out. So yeah, there's doors over there. You can see just sort of eyes barely escaping over the top. But these are these are the sailors. These aren't the guards. These are the people who sort of are in charge of running the ship. And from what you know of the ship, there is a guard contingent and there's a sailing contingent, and they're all hid. And actually, now you look around, you can see there are a couple of sailors up on the middle mast, sort of climbing up. They've sort of climbed to the crow's nest. You can see a couple of faces sort of looking down.
So thank God it wasn't on fire.
Probably about 4 or 5 exactly.
I pick up the torch.
No.
What would you like to do?
I want to turn to the guard that's next to me and... Your comrade?
Dead. You can see he's got sort of long black hair tied up, just blood smeared over his face. He's got a bit of a black eye, wound on the side of them as he's sort of breathing heavily. He's gone. Thank you. I didn't catch your name. You're
Theren Blue of the Order of the Blazing Sun. And
meet you. Bram. He sort of shakes your hand.
this is small comfort, but when this is over I will read him his rights. My friend, she's injured. Do you have anything in the way of medical supplies? Anything we can do to help her?
Let's see what we can do. We large parts of the ship have been locked, but I'll see what I can find, and sort of gives you a nod. And
before he goes,
yeah.
I put my hand on his shoulder and say, "You fought well, my friend. Parith watch over you."
Sort of he does nod, Stanley, and sort of does this back and leaves away. Blue, what are you up to?
I will check the coast is clear, and then maybe take Aubrey into the corner just so that no, actually no, that's a bad idea because they come up the sides. I will shout to the sailors, "Guys, come down! It's not safe up there."
Yeah, no, you can. You can start sort of getting down and sort of looking around. The crew just sort of start looking. Are they all gone? You hear calling from the top. They're everywhere. They're killing everyone. In just the different voices.
I can't see any, but there may be tons downstairs. I mean, I can't see any.
The main deck is clear. Come down.
I sort of like look to Theren and sort of look around, and with more authority. Okay, and you start seeing sort of movement as several individuals start making their way down.
I'm also going to come down the stairs and check how Aubrey's doing.
Yeah.
And this guy's run off somewhere, right?
Brown.
Right, yeah, so he will have disappeared off into the captain's quarters. So, sort of that way, he opens the door, and again, you see sort of coming out of the double doors, 3 or 4 individuals sort of hidden down. And again, they all look like sailors, and now you look at them. The sailors are a combination of sort of older folks. There's an older man, probably sort of 50s, very sort of not strong, sort of a wiry muscle, a ragged look to him. You can see he's not a fighter. A couple of young teenagers. You can see they've clearly, the sign of danger they've hidden. You don't know whether under instruction of the guard. You don't know whether or not out of fear. They all look frightened. But once the doors open, you can see a scene of just things being displaced. Barrels in an otherwise clean ship are scattered around the floor. You can see several of the doors have been forced open. The captain's quarters, from what you can see, appear to be locked and closed, but several of the other rooms that you know at the front of the ship, you've seen fairly senior members of crew going out of them, appear to be all locked as well.
Can I address the crowd?
You can?
Okay.
Ooh.
Speak.
My friends and I have been injured. We've lost many allies are dead. Now, what I need from each and every one of you is your help if any of us is to survive this. We need medical supplies. We need weapons. And most of all, we need you to stay safe. When this ship is retaken, we will need you to get out of here. And these masts, these things are on fire. They must be put out. Do you understand?
They sort of they nod around, and you can sort of see a sort of waves of sort of confirmation. And so as you get to the end of this, you feel sort of a hand on your shoulder, and behind you, sort of approaching, is the captain as he sort of appears to the side of you and sort of thinks for a second and sort of nods and looks to the crowd and goes, "You've heard him. These are your orders. Off you go. Chop!" And the crew scatter, and you can see them sort of coming in. He sort of turns, looks to Aubrey, and goes, "Quick! We need to get her inside into the navigator's quarters. This is where we've got a lot of the supplies." And between you manage to sort of drag Aubrey's sort of unconscious form into the navigator's room. It's a small cabin, probably only about 10 by 15 feet. There's a sort of fairly nice bed, sea chest.
No, it's the navigator's cabin, not the captain's cabin.
And unfortunately, you see, on the left.
That one. It's very nice blue.
When you come in, you see the door has been forced open, and the navigator is slumped in the corner with several wounds sort of pierced through, just clearly dead. The captain sort of looks over and then sighs, sort of gets a blanket and just sort of very gently sort of covers over him and sort of goes, "Quick, put her in bed. We'll see what supplies we can get from the ship." And sort of looks round, catches Brown the guard, and sort of calls him in and goes, "Brown, I need you in front of the ship. Whatever these creatures are, they're boarding from the front. From all I can tell, they just seem to be floating in the sea on driftwood and barrels, and the ship, we just didn't see them coming. They just seem to be climbing up the ship. I need to be on the ship. I'm going to try and steer us away. Wind forgiving." And he sort of thinks about it. There's only one place we can go. I really wish we wouldn't have to do this, but with 2 masts down, there's an island called the Beggar's Bowl. It's probably about 4 or 5 hours away from here. Somewhere I wouldn't normally go near, but we need to stop. We need to repair the ship, and I need to bring us out of whatever this flow of monsters is, wherever these creatures are coming from. I just can't tell. He sort of looks around, but my crew will attempt to put out the flames as best they can, and we'll see what supplies we can get. But tell me, what happened? Where did you come from?
We were in the crew quarters. I mean, we're in our quarters. Forgive me, Captain, the excitement of the moment.
The words have gone.
Right.
We were in our quarters, and we were woken up by them looting everything in there.
Yes.
We grabbed what we could and tried to defeat our attackers, but they swarmed us. The 3 of us barely made it out alive.
You've done better than a lot of crew have. I was lucky to be on deck at the time. If I was in my quarters, I wouldn't have been able to help so quickly. And luckily, he sort of draws his again, and you probably actually the 2 of you have probably seen before, or not you, maybe Theren has seen what appears to be almost like a sort of flintlock pistol, but a very beautifully carved one. You can see the care and it's definitely a sort of artisan weapon. Luckily, we managed to get onto the deck and deal with a few of them, but they just kept coming. I managed to take a guard contingent to the front and stop that flow of them onto the ship. But as I say, we need to quickly move the course, which is where I'm going to go. But below decks, did you see what's happened down there?
Even more of them, Captain. They have completely swarmed the cargo hold.
And they're still down there?
And last we saw, we barricaded the stairs to keep them in.
And do you think they could get out?
It was a very good barricade.
I'll investigate it.
I'm feel worthy.
I need to go and I'm going to go and helm the ship. Give your friend what aid you can. The crew will be along with supplies. We do keep a couple of potions on the ship. Hopefully they haven't been looted. We'll see what we can find.
Don't worry, sir, I've got this covered. And I just get Philip out and just kind of rub it on her face. But nothing happens. Oh, Philip's tired. Yes, please.
He sort of looks very strangely.
It looks odd, Captain, but the frog actually does work.
Of course it does. It's a magic health frog.
Don't
Called Philip.
care. Do what you need to do. And sort of nods and leaves. Makes his way to the back of the ship. So, unless you guys sort of tell me otherwise, over the next sort of 10-15 minutes, The crew scatter around the ship. The guards, as they are assembled and still remaining, come to the front of the ship and are sort of keeping constant supervision as to any more of these creatures. You can see, if you go and look out the front of the ship, just debris everywhere, barrels and driftwood and planks just all floating, and these creatures just sort of like bobbing, trying to hide just into the water level. And as they get close to the ship, they jump off and swim and start crawling up the side of the boat. But again, the guys just picking them off easily while they're climbing seem to be much easier targets for them. And they drop off back into the sea. You can see the flow just doesn't stop until a kind of movement in the ship as it sort of drifts to the right, comes off course, and slowly moves away. Actually, make me, so the two of you, at some point you go to the front of the ship, maybe a perception check.
What is this?
13.
13.
9.
Theren, in the far distance, just on the horizon, you think it's dark. There's no sort of, it's dark sea on dark sky, but just amongst the stars and amongst the waves, you think you can see some light just on the horizon drifting out from. You can't tell what it is at the moment.
How far away, roughly?
Almost out of sight. You reckon probably on these oceans, a kilometre or two, about a mile. You don't know. Almost out of sight. It's only just sort of over the top of the wave every now and then as the ship sort of crests. You get a glimpse of it.
I will stay with Aubrey, so my friendly teethy maw is the first thing she sees when she wakes up.
I'm going to go around the dead and read them last rites.
Perfect. And yeah, the dead are sort of gathered up, are brought into, again, one of the rooms. You can see that the second mate's room appears to be, again, open, empty, but people are starting to sort of just move the dead into the room. You surmise from that that probably the second mate didn't survive either, although you haven't seen their body. And it sort of starts to be used as a bit of a sort of, what's the word, morgue, I guess, and sort of a field.
Field hospital, basically.
Yeah, effectively. Yeah. The guards all appear to be dead, and the goblin creatures, whenever they've been dropped, seem to have been quite thorough on making sure they don't get back up. You, over the next sort of 30 minutes, hour, I'll let you take a short rest if you want.
Yes.
Take a short rest. Aubrey, eventually you come to, I'll let you take a short rest as well.
Thank you.
As Blue sort of tends to your wounds and does a quite thorough job if personal space is being invaded, somewhat more than you'd expect.
She hasn't looked up, so I think she's on purpose not looking up.
Just for the record, I rolled 14.
Perfect.
Nice.
Very good. Some good hit dice. So mark them off every time you use a hit dice. So you get your roll and then you add your constitution modifier on each roll.
Oh, sweet.
What did I roll?
Oh.
Hang on.
So,
Okay, then I got...
hang on.
At the moment, so you have a d10 as a paladin. So you roll a
Yeah, I also
d10
got
and every
one,
time
yeah.
you roll a d10 you add your constitution modifier.
Oh.
4 and 11.
Right, that changes things. If I'd
18.
known that, I wouldn't have used them both.
What was your first roll?
18.
My first one was a 4, so it would have been 6.
6. Okay, so
Yeah.
you get 6 hit points back.
Yeah, which would take me to 19 out of 20, and I would have just stuck with that.
I'll let you do that. That's fine.
Thank you kindly.
We're still in the first sessions, and you're using d12.
So yeah, but I rolled 1 on the first one, plus 3, so that's 4, and then rolled 11 on my second one, plus 4, so that's 18 total.
18 total.
Yeah.
So, you just sort of get back up. And Blue, you're using d8s as a bar.
And I used both of them, and I'm back up to 15 just.
That's fine. Now, do you have Song of Rest yet?
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's not reassuring.
So
But what is it though? That's all.
okay. So bards, Song of Rest. When we use hit dice to restore health, short rest, can roll an additional 1d6. And my Song of Rest is by being quiet. Because people tend to find that very restful for Blue to be quiet.
So you're just standing over me with that face, but silent.
And in the corner, I'm getting some much needed meditation.
Alright, so
Yeah.
an extra 1d6.
Well,
Oh.
Blue goes quiet. Blue is also is strangely helpful. I mean, you know, Blue did a good job bandaging up Aubrey's sort of major wound, and actually he's sort of attentive, has been bandaging other wounds on Aubrey. You wake up and most of your wounds have got at least some fabric on them. Theren, at some point, Blue kind of follows you around and starts doing a similar thing to you, and just sort of making sure that bandages are sort of applied and
Prestidigitation to take off all the blood.
things like that.
Well, I rolled a 2, so I'm back up to full health. Also, during the brief rest, if I can, I want to just take a minute and talk to Blue.
Hey, that was cool.
You
were all like, we need to give off the mask, and you were like, yeah, we should do that, and they were like, okay, and then Grumac was like,
forgive me, I owe you an apology.
Do you?
When we first met, I believed you to be the most insufferable moron I'd ever met.
Oh.
And you're not. You are a true ally. I would be dead if not for you.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Blue.
Likewise.
I would hope that we can begin to consider each other friends.
We weren't before?
Great. Fine.
Okay.
Wonderful. That also works.
Aubrey too?
Yes, Aubrey too.
Hi, Aubrey.
I ship it from the cart. I'm just like, what happened? Is the cargo okay? We need to go check on the. I'll try and get up, but then I'm like, okay.
Maybe you should not get up so soon.
I like the idea that you put like the blanket over me. Like, are my legs gone? Is that what you wanna do?
No.
Okay.
Legs aren't gone.
Okay.
Everything is fine.
What happened?
You really need to stop running off.
But
You were so brave.
I know. That's what
And reckless.
Oh, okay. That's what I do. And
Yes.
that guard told me to go up to the top, so I did, and it hurt. I'll only listen to you from now on, Theren. I don't listen to anyone else. Theren will tell you what to do. So.
It's all right. It's all right. You're not to worry about me telling you what to do.
Okay.
All right. We're heading to. The captain's taking us to Beggars somewhere. I've never heard of it, but is there anything that you're aware of?
Make history checks for me. See who knows what.
This is where I actually do get.
Yeah, you're like, do you know anything? Because I do.
Well, apparently I do know something.
No, 6.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh my god.
I heard of it in fairy tales.
14.
14. Okay. Aubrey, you. It doesn't ring a bell. You haven't really heard of it.
No, why would I?
It's not your Brett. It's not an island you've been to. Theren, you have heard of it. You have heard of it in the connotations that the Beggar's Bowl is an island that is just best avoided. A lot of the islands in the inner sanctum are inhabited, or at least sort of have trade posts or stops along the route for people to, change their cargo over or do whatever. But the Beggar's Bowl is not one of those islands. It is not inhabited. Generally speaking, trading vessels stay clear of it where they can. Blue, you have heard of it, but you've heard in a slightly different way tales of it. From what you know, the Beggar's Bowl, geographically, is really cool. You've heard stories that this thing literally is shaped like a bowl of mountain. So a sort of circular, continuous ridge that rises like a crown from the sea. And you've heard tales that in the middle of this bowl is a swamp town and people that live there, and you've heard of dangerous cannibals and treasure in tunnels beneath the sea and crocodiles bigger than houses. You've heard lots of tales about it and you think it's awesome.
So I relay this. I think it's awesome, but also it's a massive bowl. So if we have a mage strong enough, he could fill it with porridge.
And drown everyone there in porridge, Blue?
Yeah.
Either way, this Beggar's Bowl sounds quite dangerous. I suggest when we get there, the three of us stay together.
Yeah. Can we bring Bram? Or Bron? Or whatever his name is?
Who?
Brad.
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 Bram.
You know Brad?
No,
No.
Bram. He was one of the two guards who you were fighting
Oh.
beside the one that
Oh.
didn't die.
Oh, one died? Oh,
Yes.
was that my fault?
No, he
It
was.
definitely was my fault.
No.
No,
He was already
no, he
dead.
was. Well,
Oh, I don't think he was.
He was a bit of a
He's
dick.
definitely alive.
no,
alive.
I mean, you didn't know him personally.
Didn't I?
No.
Did I know him personally?
You probably see them around the ship. You like to think that you could talk to most people on the ship, and they in
They
turn
also did
think
not like
they
us.
could avoid you if they needed to.
They
You
could
probably
try.
come across them. You recognise him as the sort of tall human with a long sort of black ponytail. Is
He had this really stupid ponytail. Who's trying to copy you? But his was stupid. And yours?
I will find Bram and ask if he does want to come with us. But
You can bring any of your allies or friends. Yes, fine.
right, can I
So
find Bram?
you can. We're going to take a quick break. So we can all have a.
Can I go find my other
Alright.
friends? Can I be part of the 18?
I want to find the 80.
So we're going to be back in a second.
Woo!
Welcome back after our lovely break where we've relaxed a bit. That was good. It feels like the whole start of this campaign has been one constant battle. But you guys
Baptism
have-
of fire.
I know,
Yeah.
you guys have done well. You guys have done well. You have taken the last hour or so recovering. Aubrey, you sort of, now that you've woken up, you can see all these wounds have been bandaged on you. With this sort of unnatural resistance that you've always been kind of aware of, but perhaps never tested to this limit before. Already you can feel some of the wounds beginning to not heal, but certainly die down, less intense, and you can feel them sort of bandaged and under control. This sort of hardship and this sort of endurance you've always had seemingly sort of coming to the forefront right now. You feel a lot better. You feel like your energy's returned. You still have that fatigue from the battle.
Yeah,
You
I've
can
not gained any of my ranges.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, ugh.
and you still feel like you have been beaten up, but you're
I feel better, if anything. I feel like, oh, that's alright. I did good.
You got a good fight out of you, you know.
I feel
strangely so.
alright, yeah.
Aubrey's there having the post-sex cigarette. Like, ooh, that was
Buttons.
great.
Yeah. So we do
Blanket up. But then seeing the navigation in the corner, I'm like, oh.
This bloody Benker. I presume they would have removed him.
After a little while, the ship has sort of diverted off its course and is now sailing towards this island that the captain spoke about, the Beggar's Bowl. And after a couple of minutes, it's quite clear that this drifting debris that was sort of the ship was ploughing its way through is now off to the side and disappearing.
It's just a lot of angry goblins going.
Well, you don't know.
Oh, our ship.
The captain eventually summons or sort of calls everybody to the main deck, ringing a bell by the central mast, and everybody sort of makes their way onto the deck. Now you're sort of stepping out, you can see dawn just on the horizon beginning to break, just that deepest blue starting to appear off in the horizon. Lanterns are being lit properly on the ship. They were almost sort of there, but sort of functional lantern light. You can see the flames on the masts have mostly been extinguished. The front mast is just a skeleton, and you can see just the flames whilst they've been put out at the bottom. The entire top is burnt, the sails are gone, it's just unserviceable. The back mast as well is pretty badly damaged. It looks like all the sails are burnt up. The mast itself is a little stronger and a little bit more secure, but still has severe burn marks and burn damage up it. The bodies have been removed from the deck, and now that everybody's sort of settled down, you can see at the front, the remaining guard contingent are still sort of scouting around the perimeter of the boat, a lot towards the front of the ship, but others are sort of doing circuits of it, just sort of keeping an eye out for more danger as they can. Lanterns are sort of being dropped overboard to illuminate the sides of the ships. Grimac sort of keeping a constant patrol. There appears to be 4 members of crew, as well as the navigation boy that are assembled by the captain as he stands there, all looking frightened, but purposeful now. They're sort of getting back to work. Captain Grimac sort of beckons you all over and thinks to himself for a second and goes, okay, the situation is like this. From what I can tell, having looked at the barricades, whatever is down below deck is stuck below deck. There is no other way below deck on this ship. We've successfully sealed the ports that we're stood on now, and you can see where the sort of service entrances on the top of the deck are. Again, wooden slats have now been put above them. Crates have been sort of stacked on top of them. Nothing is getting through. You'd have to push everything open. And from what you've seen of these rat-like creatures, whilst they're fast and scurry about, strength probably isn't their big thing. He sort of looks at it. From what I can tell, the debris that was it was coming from somewhere. Something was dropping the debris in these creatures. They knew the ship would be sailing over it. From what it is, I don't know. But when they were hitting the ship, they were climbing up and they were everywhere. They were invading every room of the ship they could find. From what we can tell, we've already found the bodies of the second mate, the head cook, navigator, unfortunately all dead.
What?
Unfortunately so. It is terrible news.
Oh.
Yes.
I lean in and go, but there's a position now 3 in the kitchen.
I don't know how to cook.
It doesn't matter.
Stands there. Look.
Maybe we should listen to Captain Grimac finish.
Thank you.
Mourn later.
Okay.
The situation as it is now is that this is the crew that we have aboard the deck. Now, we are still missing at least 4 guards. We counted. There were 3 on top of deck. 4 bodies we found, which means that there are still 4 unaccounted for. Either they are below deck in the guards' quarters or they have gone overboard. Until we get down there, we cannot tell. Also down there are the entire day watch, as well as the quartermaster and at least a couple of other people. We don't know what's happened to them.
Captain. May I first apologise for potentially having given the order to seal those till
We
they
fucking
end.
killed them, Blue.
No,
My cargo.
no, we didn't see them.
The thought was, we did not see anyone, but the thought was to prevent any attempts for the enemy to flank us.
I understand your actions. They were fine. Please understand that a ship like this has emergency procedures in case of boarding or piracy. The crew knew to lock themselves in their rooms. You'll be aware of the general layout of the ship. If you go down 1 level, you reach the main cargo holds, but the level below that is where the guard quarters are and where the crew quarters are. If they'd given any warning of danger, they would have locked themselves below deck and they will still be in their rooms and they will know to stay down there. Now, the problem is that we have whatever's down there in the way of us and them. Which leaves us with a choice. Now, tell me, from your memories, how many are down there?
I would estimate 6, maybe more.
Depends if they're breeding.
No, Blue, they won't have bred, so maybe...
Are you absolutely sure?
You
The
don't
reason
know
I ask this, and I'm severely desperate to get an answer. The 3 of you have proven your worth in combat. You can take care of yourselves. Yes, even you. There's 1 of me, and we have 3 guards. That's 7 of us. Now, we need some people on top of deck to make sure that none of these things get on board again. Another invasion like that, and we're overrun. We cannot survive. Now, we have 6 hours until we get to the island. On this mast, probably maybe more. It could be 10 to 12. It depends on the wind. It depends on how much speed the Athena can get on 1 sail. But it is possible. We're heading there. I believe the crew can survive that long, but the longer we leave them down there, the more can happen. We just don't know.
We'll go.
Now, I can come with you. When I ask how many are there, I need to know. Are you sure it was 6? Could there be more? Could there be more down there?
It certainly could be. Forgive me, it was dark.
There sounded like there was quite a few down there when I was there.
Nice.
How many were you surrounded by?
At one point there was at least 4, and then possibly another 3. But then I heard quite a lot when I was down there, and then I killed at least 1.
You have crossbows.
They did have crossbows, so we're confirmed at least 7, maybe close to 10.
I think when we plan, we have to assume the worst.
Yeah. They like to stealth around the cargo and hide there, and then surround us, almost like a pack.
Now, I can see in the dark to an extent.
As can I.
But if we are to be effective, we need to light up. And by lighting up... by lighting torches below deck, we essentially remove any elements of surprise. So we need a plan.
Captain, how stealthy can you be if forced to?
Averagely. And he sort of looks down and he's wearing leather armour. You can see he's a strongly built man, but you can tell he has a worldliness to him. He probably could be quite stealthy, but...
Are there any other ways into that floor or lower?
Thinks about it, no. Unfortunately, they've got the 2 staircases down by your quarters there. We have the cargo holds, which we've sealed off. That's it, unfortunately.
What's
it's a cargo vessel rather than a slaving ship or a military ship. The entrances are deliberately kept to the minimum.
Is it raining at all?
It's dawn.
No, so yeah, it's dawn. It's the sea is fairly rough. There's a lot of clouds. You can see just some horizon stars, like just below where the clouds sort of stop from the far distance. There's no rain, no.
All right then, Captain. Can we remove the tarpaulin and just remove the darkness entirely?
We can. My fear is that whatever's down there will escape. Now, from what I could tell, and I probably suggest that you've seen it as well, whenever these rat creatures get free, whatever they've got with them, they take with them. Now, I've seen them already leave with at least 20 to 30 cases of cargo from this deck alone, let alone how many they've been taken from below deck before we noticed what was going on.
All right, so the 4 of us, and I suggest we take 1 other person as to not remove any security on the main deck. Is Bram recovered?
He sort of looks over and you can see Bram is keeping guard on the side of one of the boats, but he's sort of observing and listening, and he sort of nods, and you can see again he's been patched up and bandaged with a sort of crossbow sort of to hand and ready, bolts to his side, a sword, sort of nods.
I ship it, I say. Literally, oh shit.
I turn to the captain and Bram and I say,
Boo!
Should all of us make it out of this alive, and you next find yourself in Hartley, find the champion of the dawn, tell him that I was here, tell him all that happened, and I told you to seek out the order for repairs and resupply, and he will do so.
He nods. That's very kind. I will keep that in mind. My business, as is yours, I suspect is in Yibrit first, but I imagine most of the supplies we need we can obtain from there and make our way. But your offer is kind, and I will keep it.
Whatever you have lost, he will.
That is very kind. Now, I appreciate what I'm asking everybody to do is dangerous. I strongly suspect that you understand the gravity of the situation, and that if we don't do something about this now, our lives are in danger. I couldn't imagine us attempting to rest or stay put on the top of the deck without fear of something coming from below deck, and my crew's safety, especially the crew below decks, are paramount to me. What I can do, and he sort of beckons over, and a couple of the crew bring various pieces of goods that they've sort of assembled from the ship. You can see a collection of swords and crossbows along with bolts. You sort of gestures over anything that you feel you can use, anything that you're capable of using, please. Ooh. Feel free. I can see that we could equip each of you with a crossbow.
Yes, please.
There are several daggers, several swords if you need them. And a couple of other things, and he sort of beckons over, and there's the little navigator's assistant boy, probably only 12 years old, Thorford and a bit, sort of wanders over, very just sort of sheepish eyes. He keeps a little bit of a distance from Blue smell, but sort of brings over a box to Grumac, who, thank you, and sort of opens it up. We don't tend to deal with potions or any sort of magical goods because of the danger of them. Too many stories of ships going down from explosions or magical effects that have been unguarded, but we have managed to capture a couple of things that have sort of turned up and it sort of ferries around. And given the gravity of the situation, I feel that they would be best served now. He pulls out and he has 2 regular healing potions that he will give out, and a small sort of box, like a sort of scroll case, effectively. And he sort of wanders around and sighs to himself, hands it towards Blue, and says, "This is something we've picked up from reports of the battle that I've heard from other members of the crew. You appear to at least be, and I hate to say this, probably the most astute arcane mind on this ship right now. Sort of.
Whoa.
If you can use this, then please do."
Oh, thank you. And I use the corner just to mop up some chicken grease.
Open it up, please.
Oh, okay.
To not laugh out loud, is that a charisma or a wisdom saving throw?
That'll be charisma.
Go on,
Okay.
go on.
You snort heavily.
It's a bit of a snort, but you're... Yeah.
Okay, what's on the...
You take a quick scan over in your sort of distracted state, and actually this is something similar to the writing you've seen before. From your sort of background and from a lot of the experimentation that you've seen, you're used to the sort of arcane writings. You've been taught a little bit of it. You recognise it as a Scroll of Cure Wounds.
Oh.
Level 1.
We got okay, no, this is good. Thank you.
What is it?
It's like Philip, but on paper.
It's a picture of a frog.
Is it a picture of a frog? No.
I strongly
No.
doubt there are frogs on
You
this.
see, there's the
Like
writing here.
It's like a magic picture if you close
To
your
you,
eyes.
it looks like a set of very intricate ink, effectively, almost like somewhere between instructions, a painting, and a diagram. There's something scientific about it, there's something creative about it, and the words make no sense. Although even when reading them, you can see them shift and change, and it's almost like they make sense to you, but not quite.
See, it's very simple. You see the quasi-angle of the finer triangle into the quasite for the arcane ability, then go into the endless hole of infinity.
I believe you.
Okay.
What will that do?
Same as Philip.
Oh. Thank you, Captain. And then in that case, then you and I should take a potion each.
Yeah, I don't want a Philip. I'll take one potion.
I'll hand it to him.
I take a potion.
There is one else I will keep on me, if you need it. Between us, I think we are fairly well equipped. As I say, use the crossbows as you want. Sort of each of you is given a crossbow if you want it. You don't have to take it if you don't want it.
Anyway.
Do you have a small
As well
one?
as 20 bolts in a sort of container.
Do we have a small one?
He sort of looks at it. They're all light crossbows.
Yeah.
There's probably actually amongst them all, there's probably one heavy crossbow there, if somebody wants
I
it.
don't know if I can hold that.
But the rest are light crossbows.
I pick one up
Oh my
just
god.
to look at it, and I accidentally shoot the ceiling.
Jesus.
Boom!
And I
There is no ceiling. You're on the deck of the ship.
So in about a year,
Sails
someone's
off.
going to have a really bad day.
and then
That
I
Maybe in the faint distance you hear.
I then slowly hand it to Theren, and maybe not for me.
So light crossbow, would that use one hand or two hands?
A light crossbow is a two-handed weapon.
Yeah.
So it has the loading traits. You can fire it once per turn. But as otherwise, you use your dexterity to fire with it. I think it does 1d8 damage.
I'm looking.
A light crossbow, got 120 feet of range before it goes into difficult territory. I
Yeah.
think as a paladin, you should be able to use it, and a bard,
Nope.
I can use hand crossbows, but nothing bigger.
And barbarians, I
can't
don't
use them.
think so.
Nope, that's fine.
No.
Just double checking.
You both still can use them, but they would be effectively improvised weapons and you wouldn't get your proficiency bonus to hit with. So.
If anything, I look at it, and I look at my great axe, I look back at it, and then I'll just sort of go, don't toss it, but I gently put it down.
What's the difference between a light and a heavy crossbow?
A heavy crossbow it's just a heavy weapon, so you need to be stronger to hold it. It's more like the bigger crossbows that you practice with back at the Citadel. You think you'd be able to use it without penalty, effectively.
Okay, will that use strength instead of dexterity? Or
No, it's a ranged weapon still.
Okay, I will take the heavier crossbow.
Yeah, I think it does 1d10 as opposed to 1d8.
Okay, I will take that one, and that will be me equipped.
Perfect.
Do you have any more thunder sticks?
He sort of looks down. No, unfortunately not. This is a very expensive artifact of mine.
It's cool. How does it work?
Ugh. I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I put some sort of, they call it gunpowder. I'm not entirely sure how it works.
I believe the boy knows how it works.
It's gunpowder. I've seen it used at the Citadel. Only the most esteemed inquisitors can afford rifles or pistols like that. You are an incredibly lucky man, Captain.
Yes, I very much stumbled across it, and to confess, its price in using has meant that I haven't used it until today. This is the first time, and well,
So
perhaps I hoped I'd never use it, but there we go.
If I may,
Please.
such a weapon requires incredibly delicate and careful maintenance. On the way, I will show you the proper way to maintain the weapon.
That was very kind of you, thank you.
Just says get rid of the boy. Throw him overboard.
The boy does he's still got the little bag of ammo, to which Captain Gromax sort of goes, this won't be necessary, thank you, but you sort of, thanks, please go and keep yourself safe. And he sort of barks a couple of orders to the crew. They sort of, again, the guard are keeping a watch, the crew busy themselves, fixing what they can, but otherwise staying out of the way and ready to retreat at the first sign of trouble. He actually specifies, not your quarters, but the two quarters sort of next to it can be used for safety, and he also a couple of the empty rooms at the back as well, depending on where people are nearer to. But otherwise, leads the three of you along with Bram below deck.
Hooray!
The B-man.
Although actually no, so you wanted
Nope.
you wanted to clear the tarpaulin and the wood from one of the cargo grates. Is that what you
Yes,
wanted
but
to do?
he said no. So
Yeah.
You did, but you're happy to go along with that. This is
Yeah.
this
I
is
mean,
your party.
his
You
ship.
can-
There's nothing I can do really. Then I just follow your orders basically. So I don't think there'll be. I mean, I've been down there before, so I know what. I've been down there several times, so I know vaguely the layout, even though it's in the dark. So I know where things are. It will still be a disadvantage, but
Yeah.
I have no problem with that per se.
I have a plan.
go on.
So, you know that they're all like really scared of magic and stuff.
Yes.
We could take a bed sheet, put 2 holes in it, drape it over one of us, and then we'll be like, woo! And then I use some magic to help, and we'll scare them away.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I don't think that is a completely terrible idea.
Like in that book I read.
Instead of, say, a bed sheet with 2 holes in it and ooh sounds, Blue, is there any way that you can make, say, Aubrey's strength look all the more intimidating and frightful? Is there any way that you can make her seem this indomitable force of death and chaos?
You say that. I actually am feeling really happy right now. Such a nice day out, really.
More so than already, that is.
No, not at the moment. Give me 8 hours of sleep. And yes,
Guys, we'll be fine. They'll be, like,
D&D mechanics.
Right, well then,
I
I can make
second
it
the
taste
sheets.
great.
I second the sheet plan. I think that's a great idea. Good job, Blue.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Not to intrude, but
Do you
with
want...
this plan, if we were to succeed in frightening these rat folk, where would you expect them to go? If they were to run away, surely they would either go below deck or above. Do you have a plan to bottleneck them in or funnel them in somewhere?
What about?
I've said my bit.
What about the bed sheet? I hear
The
there's
plan's called touching cloth.
broken me.
Theren sighs.
So
What?
the bed sheet. I've heard about these things called sheep dogs. I don't know if they're a sheep that's got dog instincts, but maybe we could round them up and then ferry them towards the boomstick. I don't know. I ran with your idea, Blue.
I like it.
Yeah. I could just swing my axe and just hope for the best, to be honest with you.
I think that should be plan A.
Oh, okay. You think I'd do it? Oh, okay.
Yes, and maybe we'll consider the bedsheet plan B.
Okay.
Alright. Now, they are scared of magic, and these things strike me as not having, shall we say, the greatest intelligence. Now, there is a high chance that, Captain, if you're able to fire and hit them, that they will be convinced that such an ability is magic, that your pistol is magic. And that may have some sort of scattering effect.
Sounds like thunder.
It does. It will help if one of them is skewered. Like, I can see that working.
I can do that, sir. I'm very good at that.
I think between us we are an impressive sight. If we can scatter them, I think that's our best hope. Where they're funneled together and fighting together, they seem to be
It's true, actually.
a stronger force.
Yeah.
But scattered and independent, they hopefully will fall easily.
I have my shield and the most armour. I will take point.
Yes.
Okay. I will go second.
Okay. So that sounds a bit like a marching order to me. So what have we got? We've got Theren first. Theren first, then we've got Aubrey. We've got, unless you fight overwards, it'll be Bram will go alongside Theren.
Oh, best buds.
Captain will go alongside Aubrey.
Theren and Bram. Theren and Bram.
And
I'd
then
watch that
Blue,
D&D spin-off show.
Blue will take the ref.
He's probably gonna die now, Theren and Bram.
Well, that's A-team. That's the A-team.
If the rat people don't kill him, then Blue will out of jealousy.
Aww. He's still young. Still is number one.
Okay, good.
I still ship it.
The five of you, beaten, bloody, but
Basically back to full health.
basically back to full health in a way that only D&D can survive. Make your way independently down the stairs, sort of both sides at the same time, torches in hand, way lighting up in front of you. Theren, you're given a torch. In fact, all of you are given a torch if you want it. Blue, I'd imagine, probably has one at the back. Bram holds one. Battle axe, Aubrey probably not.
Yeah.
Theren, your hands are probably full. The captain will have one as well. So 3 people with a torch.
Yeah.
2. As you make your way down into the corridor, sort of whisper alongside you, Theren, if they are here and they're disturbed, they will probably fire. Be ready.
Aye, Captain.
And the 5 of you make your way into the dark depths of the ship. And we're going to leave it there for now.
No!
Because I have to
That's
decide
no!
the
Oh, I was so ready.
So we'll call it there for tonight.
God damn it.
Enjoying it? You guys all look like you're enjoying it.
God
Okay,
damn
you're
it.
hunting rats now. You're not the hunted, you are the hunters. The tides have turned.
Damn it. Aubrey's big boat adventure's still not working out. Damn it.
Aubrey and a group of seamen. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We'll take stock, get
Survived.
some sleep.
We're just about making it.
Survive
through.
number 2. It's all good.
Nearly died.
That was good.
Join us next time when, we'll see what happens with the... What did he say?
B-team.
We're going on a rat hunt. We're not scared.
We're very scared.
I love how we're just now doing fantasy tropes.
Might as well.
Brilliant. Until then, see you later.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.